You know, there's a man who just needs to walk into an interrogation room and criminals start shaking, sweating like they're in a sauna. He doesn't carry a gun, doesn't need a SWAT team backup. With his monstrous build and 2 iron fists, he can make even the most notorious gang kneel down and beg for mercy. That man is Ma Dong-seok, also known as Don Lee, the guy nicknamed the terrifying muscle monster, and the uncle who smashes criminals' faces in Korean cinema and across Asia. Welcome to Unseen File. I'm Jessica, and in today's episode, we're going to uncover the real unseen secrets behind Ma Dong-seok's terrifying power. This is not a story about superheroes created by CGI or fictional scripts. This is the true journey of an immigrant man with unbreakable will, a body forged through sweat and fire, and charming acting talent that has captivated audiences worldwide. Let's rewind time a little. Born in 1971 in Seoul, Ma Dong-seok moved to America when he was still very young, carrying nothing but 2 empty hands and a dream of a better life. Life in a foreign country was not easy at all. He struggled with all kinds of jobs, from manual labor to martial arts training, just to survive. It was during those difficult years that he trained his body to become massive, standing at 1.78 meters tall and weighing over 120 kilograms. But his strength wasn't just on the surface. He was a real athlete and a professional trainer. Before stepping into the film industry, Ma Dong-seok was already a professional MMA trainer for big names in the UFC such as Mark Coleman, the first UFC heavyweight champion, and Kevin Randleman. He taught them how to build power, striking techniques, and fighting spirit. Not stopping there, from 2008 he started competing in arm wrestling and quickly became one of the standout figures. By 2018, he even took on the role of president of the Korean Arm Wrestling Federation. The powerful hand grips and heavy punches we see on screen are not just acting. They come from real combat experience and years of brutal training. I have to say that this real foundation is what makes Ma Dong-seok stand out the most from other action actors. While many Hollywood stars today rely on wires, special effects, and stuntmen to create spectacular fight scenes, Ma Dong-seok delivers something terrifyingly authentic. Every punch he throws has real weight and power, making audiences feel that if it connected in real life, the opponent would actually fly across the room. That's exactly why his character Ma Seok-do has become an irreplaceable icon in the hearts of the public. The Roundup series is the clearest proof of that terrifying appeal. The first film, released in 2022, created an unprecedented box office frenzy. It didn't just earn huge revenue, but also became one of the highest-grossing films in Korean cinema history, breaking many previous records. The character Ma Seok-do, a 15-year veteran cop who specializes in smashing criminals' faces, was inspired by a real detective named Yoon Seok-ho, a close friend of Ma Dong-seok. He didn't just act. He personally participated in fight choreography, making every battle scene raw, powerful, and extremely convincing. From my personal perspective, Ma Dong-seok's success lies in the perfect combination of physical strength and emotional depth. He can be a destruction machine with punches that shake the screen, yet also a humorous and approachable man with witty lines and very relatable expressions. In an era where action movies are flooded with superheroes flying around using technology, Ma Dong-seok brings a fresh wind. The real power of an ordinary man trained to the extreme. He proves that you don't need magic or high technology. With willpower and persistence, a man can become a legend. But his journey wasn't always smooth. From being an unknown immigrant kid in America doing all kinds of jobs to survive, to deciding to pursue acting at an age when many people thought it was too late, Ma Dong-seok faced countless challenges. He once shared that his years training UFC fighters taught him humility and endurance. Those lessons helped him tremendously when he entered the harsh entertainment industry. He wasn't afraid to try new roles, from zombie apocalypse in Train to Busan to playing Gilgamesh in Marvel's Eternals, where he once again showed his real power amidst a sea of CGI. I highly respect his sense of responsibility toward the role of Ma Seok-do. He doesn't just want to entertain audiences, but also wants to convey messages about justice and standing up against evil. In the Roundup series, each installment draws inspiration from real criminal cases in Korea and the region, from cross-border drug trafficking to cybercrime. This makes the films more than just action. They carry timeliness and deeper meaning. You can picture the scene of Ma Dong-seok standing in the middle of a group of vicious criminals, slowly wrapping tape around his fists, then charging in like a wild beast. Audiences feel both nervous and excited because they know what happens on screen has a foundation in reality. That is the unseen appeal that very few actors possess. The deeper we dive into his story, the more we realize Ma Dong-seok is not just a muscular actor. He is a producer and the driving force who turned the Roundup into a successful franchise. He always tries to balance the fun muscle uncle image on social media with seriousness and professionalism in his work. That's why even at 55 years old, he still maintains his peak form and appeal that keeps audiences eagerly waiting for the next installments. However, behind all that success are silent sacrifices. The life of an MMA trainer demands iron discipline, strict diet, and not a few injuries. Ma Dong-seok turned all those hardships into motivation and the foundation for his later career. In my view, he represents the spirit of immigrants, always resilient, never giving up, and finding ways to shine no matter where they are. We have talked quite a lot about the journey from immigrant darkness to cinematic glory, as well as the real foundation of his power from martial arts. But Ma Dong-seok has even more unseen layers than that. The secrets behind his role as Gilgamesh, how he changed the Korean action film industry, and the future of the Roundup series will be explored in greater depth in the next part. And we continue the journey uncovering the unseen power of Ma Dong-seok. After seeing his solid martial arts foundation and the path from MMA trainer to movie star, now let's dive deeper into the roles that truly made him a phenomenon. The Roundup series is by far the biggest turning point in Ma Dong-seok's career. As Ma Seok-do, he is not just an ordinary cop. He is a moving justice machine with incredible speed and power. This character was built based on the real-life detective Yoon Seok-ho, who solved numerous major cases in Korea. Ma Dong-seok spent time researching thoroughly, and even joined the fight choreography process himself to ensure every action scene reached the highest level of realism. I really admire how he handled the character. Instead of relying only on muscles for impact, Ma Dong-seok skillfully mixes in humor and warmth between the violent action scenes. This makes Ma Seok-do feel more relatable. Not a cold, distant hero, but a scary yet likable uncle cop. The result is that the series keeps breaking records. Part 2, Part 3, and the most recent Part 4 all earned hundreds of billions of won, becoming one of the most successful franchises in Korean cinema history. Ma Dong-seok not only acts but also participates in producing, showing he has long-term vision. One of the most interesting unseen truths is how Ma Dong-seok changed the entire Korean action movie genre. Before him, Korean films usually focused on emotional drama or lighter martial arts. But with his heavy punches and raw style, he brought something new, realistic, powerful, and uncompromising action. From my personal view, this is exactly why Vietnamese and Asian audiences love him so much. We are tired of superheroes flying around with effects, and Ma Dong-seok gives us satisfying feelings when we see evil being punished directly and forcefully. He didn't stop at Korea. Ma Dong-seok also reached Hollywood with his role as Gilgamesh in Marvel's Eternals. Even though the role wasn't center, his appearance left a strong impression. A large Asian man with ancient power standing alongside famous superheroes. Many believe this role helped him reach global audiences. I think that even with heavy CGI, Ma Dong-seok still brought authenticity through his movement and expressions. He didn't need to pretend to be strong because he already is strong from the inside out. Besides that, he has joined many diverse projects like Badland Hunters on Netflix, where he once again showed top-level action skills in a post-apocalyptic setting, or his role in The Neighbor, proving he is not afraid to try comedy and drama. All of this shows Ma Dong-seok is a serious artist who always tries to diversify his image instead of stuck as the muscle uncle. In my opinion, Ma Dong-seok's greatest legacy is not just box office numbers but the message he delivers. He proves that an immigrant who started with nothing can still reach the top if he has unbreakable will and non-stop effort. At 55 years old, he still maintains terrifying fitness and passionate work ethic. That is a valuable lesson for anyone chasing a late dream or facing obstacles in life. However, not everything is perfect. Ma Dong-seok has also faced criticism for some overly violent action scenes, but he always defends that movies need to reflect realities, so audiences can understand the value of justice. I agree with this approach because it makes the story deeper and more socially responsible. Looking to the future, the Roundup series still has more parts coming. Ma Dong-seok is preparing bigger projects, possibly combining Korean and Hollywood styles. I believe that with his solid foundation and progressive spirit, he will continue to surprise audiences. In conclusion, Ma Dong-seok is not just a muscular actor or an action star. He is a symbol of real power, power that comes from sweat, tears, willpower, and heart. Through the unseen file lens, we clearly see that behind that giant body is a humble, resilient, and inspiring human being. Thank you for joining me, Jessica, in today's Unseen File episode. If you were impressed by Ma Dong-seok's unseen strength, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss more interesting hidden stories. See you in the next video. Always remember that real strength doesn't lie in muscles, but in a will that never surrenders.